Alright guys, welcome to another Amberlynn Reid video. Cracker Barrel Gate and no longer weighing in or counting calories. What else is new from this dumb bitch? Immediately dislike. Our gambling addiction link is still here. Her begging for some big money is still here. Cameo link is still here. Are you not tired of having the same realizations over and over for the last 10 plus years? Remember, when she's not weighing it means that she's gaining. It's true. Just admit that you've given up and comfortable at that size. People might respect you for it. That's actually true. How many times have you quit weighing in and calorie counting? Mm-hmm. Girl, didn't you preach you didn't have binge eating disorder if you got the period? Why is that narrative back now? How did therapy help you with binge eating disorder? You don't have some bites. Cracker Barrel Gate. Exactly. So let's just get into it. So immediately we begin. Her hair looks like shit. As always, she has her outhouse shirt on again.
Hey guys, welcome to another weigh-in video. All right, let's get straight into the questions. How has your BE improved? So I noticed, even though I did outpatient for only a few months, I noticed that like the tools, the knowledge, and the things that I talked about in outpatient during that time started helping me. But genuinely, all the credit goes to the 9 months of therapy I did with a psychologist when I was gonna get weight loss surgery. I was only supposed to see that psychologist for 3 months, but I...
Is she wearing like a mop pack with a choker? I can't. That is a fashion mistake.
Kept going because it genuinely was like changing my life, and it still has. Like, that's a psychologist that diagnosed me with BPD. Now I'm aware, and that's like the first thing that you need to do when you're a borderline is you need to have that awareness, because without the awareness, you're like, what's the problem? There's nothing wrong with me. You can have tiny little moments of like, okay, something seems off, what's wrong with me? But I don't really know what. It's the awareness that really helps. All right, let's not talk about that though. That's not what this video is about. That psychologist genuinely like changed my life. Yes, I still overeat. Yes, I still have issues, but the BE, like, I don't do that. I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means. What I am saying is those 9 months drastically helped me. And then
you don't need to be imperfect to have binge eating. You can't eat vast amounts of food at any state. It's a disorder.
And since then, I have done on and off therapy, and I've done on and off working on myself, whether it be workbooks or just like the daily journaling. Like, finding coping mechanisms is literally going to change your life if you struggle with BE. Like, it's hard, obviously, but I've improved drastically in that area. Do you ever do the lymphatic massages for your illnesses? So by illnesses, I'm pretty sure they mean my lipedema and lymphedema. And I do, but it is hard to do on your own self. So I do the best I can, but it's not something that I do like religiously, because like I said, it is very hard to do like by myself. And I'm not gonna ask anyone to do it for me because that is my job. Why are you not allowed to be on estrogen? So some cancers actually feed off of estrogen, and the cancer that I was diagnosed with and the stage and grade that it was at, it was feeding off of estrogen. Does your mom grocery shop with you? Sometimes. I would say 9 times out of 10 she does, but we both have our own cart. She goes her own way, I go my own way. It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, because she gets what she needs, I get what I need, and then we usually meet each other out at the car when we're done. Did you order 5 cookies from Cracker Barrel? So Cookie Gate was happening in my live stream, which I literally just ended my live stream. So that just ended, and now we're here. I was so confused because people were saying I had 9 cookies and people were saying I had 12 cookies. I was genuinely lost. But I guess it turns out that people saw somewhere that the only way you can order chocolate chip cookies is if you order 5 or 10 at a time, which before I even found that out, I was trying to explain that the only reason why
That's just too funny. That's what happens. You get caught.
had a chocolate chip cookie was because I was trying to get these like beignets. They just looked and sounded so good at the time. But when I went to order it and then the DoorDasher went to go get it, turns out they didn't have those. And I was like, okay. So I messaged back and I was like, do they have chocolate chip cookies? I'll take one of those. And then they just gave me a chocolate chip cookie. So no, I didn't have 5 or 9 or 12 chocolate chip cookies. I just had one. All right, let's get into the goals that I had last week. My goal was literally just to look into GLP-1s, and I have done that. So if you haven't watched any of my last videos from the last week, literally I signed up, I did the questionnaire, I was fixing to get approved for a GLP-1, which has been very easy for me in the past. But this company asked about my gallbladder. I told them I had gallstones over a decade ago, and they denied me. And I almost gave up. But instead I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be an advocate for myself. I genuinely believe the possible reoccurrence of a gallstone is less severe than me staying the size. They did not respond to me, so I'm over it. Okay, cool. So that brings me into my goals for this week. My first goal is that I want to talk.
Exactly. You're a liability to the company, you're a liability to yourself. You're not trusted to take care of yourself. You need a caregiver, you need a caretaker. You can't wipe your own ass. Like, everything is just being thrown at your face. And you can't even, like, you don't even deny it, you just make an excuse for it. And ultimately, it will be your demise. All these excuses just to protect your ego, when and the reality is that, like in that comment said, that if you actually admit to actually being comfortable at your size that you are now, people might actually respect you for it. Because you keep going back and forth saying you're not a perfect person, and what the hell, bitch? It's been 10 plus years. Now look at you, being denied GLP medication, and now you're blaming it on them.
Talk to my doctor and make an appointment and talk about GLP-1s and see what he thinks. I'm willing to closely monitor my gallbladder if that will make him feel more safe about putting me on a GLP-1. Number 2, I want to just work on my relationship with food, period. Number 3, stop the daily weigh-ins and just weigh myself once a week. All right, so now let's talk about how my week went. So last week I was feeling shitty, I was feeling defeated, I was feeling overwhelmed, I was feeling like I was drowning, I was depressed, I was low. I genuinely was not in a good place, and I feel so much better. I feel like I can breathe again. I feel like I have reached the surface of the water and I am no longer drowning. I hate when I reach lows like that because it reflects in all of my life, and I try very hard to put on a smile and to still be positive and happy, and sometimes it's hard. It's a scary feeling, but I feel a lot better and I'm just very happy about that. So I decided in the middle of last week that I will no longer be doing daily weigh-ins because they were messing with my head. I also decided that I will no longer be counting calories.
Yep, she's not doing both because she knows that she's gaining. She's avoiding accountability, and yeah, it's frightening. It's a typical self-defense mechanism that most people do, that they just want to ignore. They just want to ignore the problem that's just being screamed at their face. The scale is screaming at your face. The calories that you eat are screaming in your face. You need to be held accountable, which you always say that you are. But this is it. It's life or death with your long ass one single bang. Come on.
I will strictly be focusing on weighing myself once a week while working on my relationship with food. Instead of treating food like it's the problem, the reality is that I'm the problem. Nothing I do regarding losing weight will ever be successful unless I work on that relationship. Losing weight is extremely important. That is how I'm going to save my life. But the only way I can lose weight is, like I said, working on that relationship with food. So that is going to be my main focus. I'm still going to continue the weigh-ins for you guys every single week, but by working on the relationship, the symptom, which has been the weight gain, that is going to improve. which will then be weight loss. And by working on my relationship with food, I want to use a tool like GLP-1, but on the side, I want to take all the tools that I've ever learned from having a dietitian and outpatient and taking those tools and realizing that food is fuel. You have to eat to live, not live to eat. I still want to enjoy food. I don't want to think of food as a bad. That is where I know that my relationship with food is not going to be good. So by working on my relationship with food, I need to take the actions into doing so. And as I do them, I will talk to you guys more about it. But as of right now, I want to treat my body better. I want to nourish my body the way that we are supposed to. Anyways, I feel like I could talk about this for like 9 million years. So let's move on to the weigh-in. Last week I was 514.2.
I thought she said that she's a dietitian and a nutritionist, and she knows how to lose weight better than anybody else, but she just doesn't do it. And now she's saying that's her relationship with food. Man, I can't with this lady.
And this week I was 516.2. In the middle of the week, I did get down to 513, so I'm noticing I am just fluctuating right now, and I am not going to beat myself up for it. Because progress isn't just, ooh, lose weight every single day. Progress is very much lose some, gain some.
If someone like your size should just be going straight down, not lose some, gain some. Like, that probably will work for somebody maybe my size. Like, these are just like really lame excuses. Like, is this what helps you sleep at night? It's so pathetic.
Some, lose some, gain some. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.